Hey guys, Rexlent here. Welcome to another crash course, this time for Zani. And as usual, we'll go straight into it and I'll skip the nitty-gritty details and just tell you what you need to know. So first things first, when you look at the bottom of the screen, Zani has two Forte gauge. The segmented gauge up here is the first Forte gauge, and the one below here with the tiny yellow bar, that's her second Forte gauge. Second Forte gauge is also called Blaze, and that's reserved for her ultimate. So we'll just talk about the top gauge, her redundancy gauge, Forte gauge 1. And this gauge can be filled by doing basic attack, resonance skill, and intro attack. Intro attack giving you 50 points out of a 100 points right away. So, basic attack, really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. And similar to Spectro Rover, after the third basic attack, you can pause for a bit and press again after that for a different attack when she's on the chair. So 1, 2, 3 on the chair and press basic. Like that. And see how the Forte gauge is already full. And once it's full, you can press her resonance skill for enhanced resonance skill. Like this. Both her plunge and heavy attack will shortcut straight into basic attack 3, like so, heavy attack. And then plunge attack. Same thing, the shield bash. And then once your gauge is full, straight away do her resonance skill, enhanced resonance skill. And one thing to note about enhanced resonance skill and the resonance skill is that you can hold it or you can tap it. It's basically a block attack, just like Tao Chi. So if I hold it, Zani will go into ready stance. And any incoming attack during that will be blocked, and then she will perform that counter attack. So if you just tap it right away, she will also perform the very same attack. Both of them have the same multiplier. Same goes for resonance skill. Resonance skill can also be held or tap. So if I tap, it's gonna look like this. One tap resonance skill. And this is where you chain your basic attack into it to get more of her Forte gauge. So tap, and then basic. Like so. And then use her enhanced skill again. Or you can also do tap, basic, pause, and then do the special one, and then you get full right away. And then like so. Really simple. Tap, basic on the chair, full, enhanced resonance skill. So same thing, when you hold, you will also release a counter when she takes damage, and then she will negate all of the incoming damage. Like so. So in a normal team composition, intro skill will always give her 50 gauge out of 100. So I already have 50 here to simulate that she has intro. So what you only need to do is just press her resonance skill and followed by her basic attack, and she will have full gauge right away. So intro, and then resonance skill, basic, there we go, it's already full. And then straight away, use her special E. And notice how she gets a buff over here. This buff gives Zani 20% Spectral Frazzle amplification, so this is very important to lead up to her ultimate. One thing to note about Zani is that as long as she's in the team, any Spectral Frazzle applied to the enemy will be immediately converted to Zani's own version of Spectral Frazzle called Helical Ember. And each Helical Ember will give Zani 5 points of Blaze to the second gauge below here. Other ways to get Helical Ember is by activating her ultimate, which gives her 50, and also doing the enhanced resonance skill, which gives 10. That's why the gauge is almost full now. So what I mean by that is that if I have enhanced resonance skill here, okay, I'm gonna press skill and then look at the gauge below, the lower gauge. As for her ultimate form, she goes into the form for 20 seconds, and that's where you start consuming all of her blaze gauge to perform her combo. Pretty much what you will do is spam your basic combo attack. So on a full gauge, you can spam basic attack combo 6 times. One full combo string is 3 basic attack, so you can do it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you finish it with ultimate again. So I'm gonna pop ultimate. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. And then you finish it off with ultimate. When her gauge is below this indicator, It means that you can activate ultimate, because once it's empty, you can only do like normal basic attack. She doesn't do her enhanced basic attacks anymore. Another thing to note is that during ultimate, I perform 6 basic attack chains to complete her whole loop during ultimate. But during ultimate, she can also hold her resonance skill to go into a counter form. It works exactly the same. So you can hold it during ultimate like this, and then she'll go straight into a stronger part of a combo. And you don't have to worry because her gauge only gets drained when she hits a target during ultimate. So theoretically, when you go into ultimate, if you want to do more damage, and if the enemy is always attacking you, you can just hold resonance skill and let them hit you. And then she's gonna counter like this. Like so. And then you finish it. Alright, so from the top again, Zani is really simple to play. On her base form, just get her gauge to full. Either like this or from intro. And then press E. Press E, get the buff down here. Activate ultimate and just spam basic attack. Just spam it. 2 sets on a full gauge. That's the first set. 1 more set. That's 2 sets, and now finish it with ultimate again. And that's it. Congratulations. You already know how to play Zani. Next, we'll move on to her skills and her team composition, and also simple rotations during a team setup. Next, on her skill leveling priority, the majority of Zani's damage is going to come from her Forte circuit. All of this is her swings, her basic attack swings during her ultimate. So Forte circuit is the top priority. Level this up first, followed by Resonance Liberation. Resonance Liberation damage is the first damage when she activates her ultimate, Rekindle. And the last stand. Last stand is the second ultimate, the one where she jumps up and slams down on the enemy. Followed by Resonance Skill. Resonance Skill is just the block counter damage. And lastly, normal and intro. And also make sure to get all her stat bonuses. She has crit rate, very important. Crit rate and especially the first inherent skill. After doing intro skill, she gets 12% spectral damage bonus for 14 seconds. That's enough to cover her burst rotation. And second inherent skill is all damage taken is reduced by 40% during ready stance. Basically, Zani will take 0 damage whenever she blocks an incoming attack with her whole resonance skill. Outro skill for Zani, it's the usual for main DPS characters. It's nuke damage when she leaves the field, and you get even more damage based on the number of Helical Ember is on the target. Helical Ember, again, is Zani's version of Spectro Frazzle. As long as Zani is in the team, all Spectro Frazzle is converted to Helical Ember right away. You will never see Spectro Frazzle icon at all. All of them will be Helical Ember, and they can stack past 10 all the way to 60 stacks. As for her weapon, her signature weapon is the best as usual. It gives her attack and defense ignore, and also amplifies Spectral Frazzle damage by 50% for 6 seconds. Spectral Frazzle is massive on Zani because her attacks are mostly considered heavy and Spectral Frazzle damage as well. This is also why Phoebe is really good with her. We'll get into that later. So again, first choice of weapon for her will be Blazing Justice, her signature weapon. If you can afford to get her weapon, Rochia's signature weapon works for her as well. You just need to bear in mind that Tragic Comedy has crit rate scaling, and Spectral Frazzle set gives a lot of crit rate on top of Shorekeeper as well, so you need to adjust your echoes accordingly if you're gonna use Tragic Comedy. If you don't have Rochia, Xiangli Yao's weapon also works for Zani. Again, it's crit rate main stat, and then standard 5-star weapon, followed by Celestial Spiral at rank 5, followed by Stone Art. Now, when it comes to Echo, Zani is similar to Phoebe. Phoebe scales from Spectro and Heavy Attack. You can basically put all of Phoebe's Echoes on Zani if you already had one before, since Zani is the main DPS. If not, then let me go through with you. For her main Echo, you want to use Capitanius, the same as Phoebe, because equipping Capitanius gives you 12% Spectro and 12% heavy attack damage bonus. You don't even need to activate the Echo to get this bonus. For the 4 costs, you can go crit damage or crit rate. Usually, you can afford to go crit damage if you have really good crit rate subs. You just have to factor in the extra 20% crit rate in the 5-piece effect here, and also having Shorekeeper in your party with more crit rate. For 3 costs, Spectral damage bonus, and then 1 cost will be attack percent. As for the energy regen that Zani needs, 120 to 130% is already good enough for her. And for the substats, it's the usual double crit followed by attack percent and heavy attack, like what you see over here, and followed by flat attack and then the rest. If you're still farming for Capitania, since he's pretty rare and you don't have a good set for now, you can settle for Nightmare X as your main slot, since Nightmare X also gives 12% Spectro just by equipping it. Otherwise, the end game will be Capitania's. Now, when it comes to the sequences, Zani is already very playable at S0, especially in a team setup. I don't recommend playing her in a solo environment due to her reliance on Spectro Frazzle. So at a minimum, you want Spectro Rover with Zani. Anyway, that's besides the point. S0 is already fine, but if you want to know about her good breakpoints, S1 and S2 are her biggest spikes in her damage output, with S1 giving her straight up 50% spectral damage bonus for 14 seconds when she casts targeted action or forcible riposte. Targeted and forcible, they are just the name for when she does her enhanced resonance skill during her normal form. So just by doing that, she gets 50% spectral, and her resonance skill, Heavy / Nightfall, cannot be interrupted. That is during her ultimate, so her basic attack, Nightfall, cannot be interrupted. That's really good. As for S2, she gets crit rate increased by 20%, straight up, no condition. It goes straight into her final calculation. So this is really, really good for her. You can safely go 4 cost crit damage without worry at S2. And then, once again, targeted action and forcible riposte damage is increased by 80%. So her normal form enhanced resonance skill counter or attack hits really hard. It can hit like 200 to 300k with S2. So S1, S2 for the best gains. S3 is just average. S3 will calculate Blaze, the second Forte gauge, into her final ultimate attack. S4, the usual, whole team gets attack increased by 20% when she does intro. For S5, the damage multiplier of Rekindle is increased by 120%. Rekindle is just her activating her ultimate, so it's not that big of a deal. However, for S6, S6 is different. S6 is like about 50% increase in her overall damage. Basically, all of her swings during ultimate, damage multiplier is increased by 40%, and every blaze consumed will also improve Nightfall by 40%. That's the bonk, the big bonk hit during her ultimate. If you've seen my video, I was hitting about 500k with a fully buff powered up team. And not only that, during Inferno mode, when Blaze is lower than 70, restore 70 Blaze immediately. That means that this will help Zani always have a consistent full bar every time she goes into ultimate, and it also further help you if you decide to play her solo. And the last point of this is that within 8 seconds after ultimate, Zani will remain at 1 HP if she is hit by a fatal blow. Basically, Zani cannot die. She gets guts for 8 seconds once she activates her ultimate. So you can just go full caveman, unga bunga, full Rajang on the enemy. In conclusion, the stopping point for her will be 0, 1, 2, and then 6. Team composition wise, it's the usual 1 healer, either Shorekeeper or Verena, followed by 1 support. This slot goes to either Phoebe or Spectral Rover if you don't have Phoebe, followed by Zani. If you don't have Shorekeeper or Verena, or if you want to go all out on Frazzle, you can also replace Shorekeeper with Phoebe. This is another possible team composition. The ideal composition for Zani, as you've seen in many of the official videos as well, is Shorekeeper, Phoebe, and Zani. Phoebe can go on Moonlit set if you want to further support Zani, and Shorekeeper, the usual Rejuvenating Glow, and Zani goes for the Spectral Frazzle Echo set. Now in the final section, I'll just show you a simple demonstration on how to run these 2 teams, Shorekeeper, Phoebe, Zani, and Shorekeeper, Spectral Rover, Zani. So I'll have the cheat sheet up here on the screen on what to do when the enemy doesn't hit back. So first things first, once you begin with Shorekeeper, simple, just get her Forte up. And then on Rover's turn, you just want to bring him in and put all the Frazzle stacks. So skill, ultimate, 1 more set of skill. And there you have it. And then switch out to Zani. E skill. E again. And that's it. Ultimate. And then spam it all the way. Spam it all the way. And then finish. And then echo. And then back to Shorekeeper. So there you have it for the rotation with Rover. Now the team rotation for Peep example, still the same, nothing's changed for Zani. Only for Peep, if you remember, for Phoebe, we used to play her as DPS, which is press and hold basic attack for her to activate the DPS mode, Absolution. For now, you will do it differently. You will do Confession, which is press and hold her Resonance skill, and then she will go into a blue gauge. And then you just empty her Forte gauge on the enemy to place all the Frazzle, use her ultimate, and your job is done on Phoebe. So let me start again. Same thing on Shorekeeper. Get up your Concerto. Now for Phoebe, bring Phoebe in. Whole Resonance skill. Ultimate. Resonance skill again. And now start doing her Forte. So look, it has already 22 Heliacal. And then just switch to Zani. Zani skill. Zani enhanced skill. And then ultimate. And then spam ultimate. Like that. So you can see, sort of see the difference between Phoebe and Rover. It's not that Rover is bad. Rover is the bare minimum if you want to run a Zani team. Phoebe just does everything better. Phoebe applies more Frazzle stacks. Phoebe also amplifies Frazzle in her outro, 100% amplification. And if you have Phoebe's weapon, that's even more Frazzle amplification. But yeah, that's an example for the teams that you can run Zani with. Now, a lot of you have been asking questions about pulling between Phoebe and Zani, or when to stop to pull one and when to stop to pull the other. Basically, the best choice would be obviously after getting your first Zani, get Phoebe next. And then after that, get Zani's weapon. And then if you can still afford it, get Phoebe's weapon after that. So Zani, Phoebe, Zani sick, Phoebe sick. As for their sequences, after this point, you can go for Zani's S1 so that she gets the big damage buff for herself, 50% spectral damage across. And after Zani S1, the next thing you can do is go up to Phoebe S2, because Phoebe S1 gives 10 spectral Frazzle on her ultimate, but the big one is on her S2, which is her outro Frazzle amplification goes from 100 to 120%. That is massive for Zani. It's like about 20-30% damage increase for her. So after S2 Phoebe, you can consider S2 Zani for the bonus crit rate and just a harder hitting enhanced resonance skill in her normal form. And then after S2 Zani, it's the same thing, the breakpoint. The next one after that will be S6 Zani. And then you're done. So this is a general roadmap you can follow if you want. So yeah, all in all, Zani is a really fun character. I especially like her resonance skill because it's so easy to block with. Not only that, you put stagnation on them when you block, and you also block all other incoming damage during it. So not just the attack that you're blocking, all the other attacks that happen during it, they're all also reduced to 0. And the best part is that her attacks put her back on the chair, and you can just like wait for the enemy during it. Like that. Just wait for them. Lots of styling. But yeah, that concludes the crash course. Hopefully this has been helpful to you in understanding how Zani is played, and also answered most of your doubts about what to get. Consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and if you have any additional tips as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.